Mike McCarthy has always been one to throw out a catchphrase. Packer fans will remember we're nobody's underdog. This week for Cowboys Washington football team, it's we're going to win this game. I'm confident in that. Joining me now from Locked On Cowboys, it's Marcus Mosher. And Marcus, this is something that is going to make certainly the superstitious fans in Cowboys Nation cringe. But he went on to say, I mean, what am I supposed to say? Yeah, I fully expect to win every game I've ever competed in. Is this a big deal to you?
Absolutely not. I mean, he was right. Like, what is he supposed to say? No, we're going to lay down for Washington to beat us. No, he's back in the building after missing, 12 days because of COVID. He's fired up to be back. It's a big divisional game. Listen, I don't buy that this is bulletin board material. Do you think Washington's not? They're going to play harder now because Mike McCarthy said this? No, they're going to try to win the NFC East. They're going to try to make the playoffs, get a wild card spot. You could expect Washington's A-plus game anyway. So I think this is fun. I think we should see this more from coaches because it really doesn't ultimately matter on the field.
I have to admit, as much as I like the Cowboys overall this season, I do like Washington plus 4.5 in this game.
Too many points.
That
right?
is,
it's too many points.
That is, I agree. But at the same time, this is a rivalry game, and Mike McCarthy is no stranger to rivalries. I mean, Packers-Bears is, depending on who you ask, the preeminent rivalry in the NFL. So he knows exactly what he's saying in this instant. And what I loved is Dak Prescott, he, had an expletive, but he essentially said, yes.
Yeah, we're going to win this game.
Right, exactly. Right.
I mean, that's the other thing that we don't talk about with these guarantees is, yeah, it might fire up your opponent or whatever. But I also think now the Cowboys are excited. Like, they're ready to go. I think this is a good little confidence booster after struggling for the last couple months. Like, yeah, we're going to go into Washington and we're going to beat them. And we're going to tell you that we're going to beat them, and then we're going to go out there and do it. So I love it. These are the kind of things that we want more from coaches. Let's not criticize them too much for doing this. And if they do lose, so what? I promise you there's going to be a million other reasons why the Cowboys lost rather than what Mike McCarthy said on a Thursday press conference.
And you know what? Mike McCarthy, he takes plenty of heat. And, I've made jokes about Mike McCarthy in the past. I have a lot of respect for Mike McCarthy. The team I covered won a Super Bowl while he was the head coach. But he tends to handle these moments with aplomb. He understands the pulse of his team. And if they need a little jolt in the arm, he's willing to go out there and take the heat and say, I'm going to say we're going to do this. And I'm going to hold our guys accountable to go out and do it.
And I think he's right for doing it because, again, the Cowboys have not played well over the last month. And I think this game is certainly bigger for Washington than it is for Dallas, right? Like, if Dallas loses, they're still a game up in the division. They're still going to make the playoffs they already have 8 wins. They probably need, one more, Peter, to get into the playoffs in the NFC. It's just not as big of a game for Dallas as it is for Washington. But I don't think McCarthy wants his team to play like that, right? I think he wants them to play like this is a playoff game. And I think this is a good way to ensure that happens.